In our last video, we learned how to find the area of a right triangle. In this one, we're going to learn how to find the area of an obtuse triangle. So before we start, we're going to look at the definition of obtuse. And an obtuse angle is an angle measuring greater than 90 degrees. So I have a couple examples. If you look right here, this angle is greater than 90 degrees because we know that 90-degree angles are perpendicular and they make a straight line. If you look over here, this shoots out way to the left. It's much larger than 90 degrees, so this one's obtuse. Same for this one. If we went straight up, be there. This one is also obtuse. So we're going to be looking at obtuse triangles today. Remember in our last video that for triangles, area equals 1/2 base times height. And we knew it was 1/2 base times height because if you recall, a rectangle's area is base times height, and 2 right triangles can fit in one rectangle. So today what we're going to do is we're going to try to make a rectangle out of an obtuse triangle. So looking just at this obtuse triangle, we have our base, which is this bottom part of the triangle, but we don't have the height yet because if you go straight up, just like before, you're not at the highest point. We need to get to our highest point, which is right over here. And we're going to make this our height, straight down, connecting to the base. If you look at this whole new shape, we now have a right triangle. So we have our height and we have our base. Now we still want to create a rectangle out of this, and right now we're only at a right triangle. So what we're going to do, just like we did with our right triangles in the last video, is we're going to reflect this whole new triangle over itself over here, creating a rectangle. Split, of course. This is the height, same one over here. This is a flip of the obtuse triangle. And now we have one large rectangle. So we need to label this because we have a lot more new lines here. This entire length all the way across we're going to call x. You can plug in any variable you want. We're going to use x. So this whole length here and this whole length here are the same length because we know rectangles, their largest 2 sides are the same. So these are both x. This bottom one though is split up a little bit because we have base right here, measures just this. And we need to know how big this is. So right here, this is called x minus b. So we have the whole x, but we're taking away the b. So just this little chunk is x minus b. So now we have to use our formula to prove that a equals 1/2 base times height. So we're going to do the height of the whole rectangle times the length of the whole rectangle. So it's a equals h times x to start with. But we don't want to find the area of the rectangle. We want to find the area of the obtuse triangle, just this chunk that we started with. So we're going to subtract and then find the height of just this little triangle that we created, which is h times the base of this one, which is x minus b. So h times x minus b all over 2 because we doubled this and reflected it over to create our rectangle. We're going to simplify and use our distributive property, bring down the hx, and then we're going to do h times x over here. We have a negative, so it's minus hx, and then we're going to do the same thing for the b. 2 negatives, we remember, makes a positive, so it's plus hb all over 2. If you simplify it, hx minus hx cancels out, and so you get area equals h times b over 2, or 1/2 base times height. And that's how you get the area of an obtuse triangle.